In part 2, we focused on travail and the war's impact on Newquay's tourism. In our final part, we'll look at the heyday of Cornish holidays, right up to the present. Following World War II and gliding into the 1950s and 60s, Newquay saw a real boom in tourism. Trains coming into Newquay on a Saturday pulled upwards of 26 carriages packed with eager tourists. The beaches were crammed to capacity, the sea was full, and demand for more accommodation grew. It seemed as if the railway and Newquay's relationship would only flourish. By the early 1960s, many railway lines were considered economically inefficient with the rising popularity of the motor car. In 1962, the Tamar Bridge was finished, making it even easier to travel to Cornwall by car. Noticing the decline in train travel, the government would close many of the UK's rail network. Many lines in Cornwall would become victim to this restructure. The Newquay to Par line was under threat, but it was not tourism that saved it, it was the transportation of minerals and china clay. Newquay's railway was saved by its century-old original reason for existing. In the 1970s and 80s, there was a downturn in the UK holiday market due to the affordability of package deals overseas. In Newquay, the tourist industry struggled on, but with reduced revenue, and many hotels and guest houses fell into disrepair. We were contacted again by Len Shepherd, who had found a different perspective on the station's history. Tell us about Newquay Station. My understanding is the station that stands today is not the original, is that right?
No, certainly not. The original station was completed by a local builder, John Enner, in 1876. It was subsequently expanded around about 1905 to allow for the Chasewater line to be brought in, and looked probably very similar to many of the traditional Victorian and Edwardian railway stations that still exist in Cornwall, which fortunately many do. However, by the 1980s, the railway line to Newquay wasn't being used anywhere near as much as it was before, and they decided to demolish it and make various alterations. Many towns in Cornwall kept their stations and reutilised them for other purposes. Newquay unfortunately didn't.
And you've brought with you a quote.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very important quote. The esteemed railway author John Vaughan had some harsh but valid words. He wrote, "By 1990, it seemed that no more official damage could be done to the bleak and unwelcoming Newquay station, but that turned out to be a misguided view. In 1992, the original granite station building was demolished to make way for car parking and a taxi rank. With so much utterly bland architecture in the town of Newquay, it is hard to believe that local councillors and developers did not recognise that they were destroying part of Newquay's local history and heritage. It is inconceivable that an innovative use could not be made of such a fine building. Sir John Betjeman, the late Poet Laureate and public transport fan, would have been appalled at such moronic actions."
He wasn't pulling any punches, was he?
No, he certainly isn't.
In more recent times, the train saw fewer and fewer young people using it. That looked like a trend that was set to continue. But there was an unlikely alliance just around the corner. Boardmasters, a surfing competition and music festival, would prove to be the perfect solution. The trend for young people coming to Newquay via the train is alive and well. As if echoing the increased carriages of the 50s and 60s, GWR provide an extra 10,000 seats for young festival goers. A new metro service linking Newquay, Truro and Falmouth means the travel around the mid-Cornwall area should prove easier than ever before. Whilst train travel popularity has fluctuated over the years, the growing public consciousness for more climate-friendly options means that trains could prove to be the perfect alternative. The heyday and excitement of early train travel may be behind us, but travelling by train is definitely here to stay.